All right, all right, all right. Hello, people. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mobility Academy show. I'm your host, the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. And this evening, I got a really special guest for you guys because so far we've been talking about flexibility. And I do think that flexibility is really important and beautiful when you can apply that flexibility to something. And this evening, I got a real special friend, a real special friend we met in 2017, 2017, and he's really an amazing person, a good coach, and a legend himself because yeah, he's a legend on Instagram and among the handstand community because tonight, at least here in Europe, is night. All right, and also for my guest. So tonight we'll be talking about handstands. All right, because in a handstands you do need flexibility to be good. All right, so I have the great pleasure to introduce to you Ulrik Fossum.
Damn, that
Yeah,
was a
brother.
heavy introduction. Yes.
Yeah, very good introduction. Like I said, like a part of our story because we met really in 2017 when we went together in London, and I met this amazing person, and I thought to myself, okay, so it's possible just to be good at handstands when you are that tall and that heavy. So it's possible.
Yeah, we did the London School of Handballs together.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
was fun.
I don't I don't want to talk alone. So I'll leave you the words just to introduce yourself and just to tell us about more about your story and what you do.
All right, my name is Ulrik and I do handstands. It started when I was around 21. I saw a picture of Yuval on hands, which he stole my name, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I saw a picture of him do a one-arm handstand, and I checked him out on YouTube. Saw he do these amazing things. Before that, I've never seen a one-arm handstand before, so I didn't know that it existed. It was possible. I saw it and I was like so amazed. He had an amazing physique, which I was into then. I trained a lot of strength training and fitness and stuff like that. And then I saw he did a handstand and was like, my God, I have to try. And then my strength training sessions turned into handstand sessions where I just like climbed up the wall, I kicked up and failed and stuff like that. And then I tried to do some research, discovered either portal, gymnastic bodies, GMB, all that old school stuff that was available on YouTube now. I tried to understand how it worked, and then it got me to like a straight freestanding handstand. And then I met Mikael Christiansen, which is a Norwegian hand bouncer. And he taught me how to do a tuck. I didn't know what a tuck was. And he was like, yeah, do a tuck. And I was like, what tuck? And then bend your knees, damn it. And then do a split. And my split was like this. And he said, like, do your full split. I am doing a full split. And then he coached me for the next few years, and then got deep into the world of hand balancing and also like flexibility and stuff like that. And now I'm here sitting and talking with you on the screen.
Finally,
And
finally.
yeah, and teaching people how to do what I do.
They can check you out on Instagram, following the checking out Ulrik on hands. Am I right? I leave the link in the description of the YouTube video, of course, but you can also see that here on the YouTube live. So, guys, the first thing I wanna ask you is this. So tonight we'll be talking about handstands. All right, we got a lot of topics to cover, of course, but we do want to see your comments down below just to understand what you want to talk about. And you got two main reasons you got to leave a comment. So the first one is just to talk with us because we don't want to talk alone. A lot of you are watching this show, so I hope that you'll find it interesting. And also leave a comment just to talk about things, about flexibility, about handstands. I don't know, maybe you want to talk about something. But the second reason you want to leave a comment down below is because at the end of this live show, I'll be giving away a free spot for my handstand line workshop. All right, so you can win a free spot of that if you leave a comment down below. All right, so you leave a comment, just leave whatever comment you want to leave, and you can win a free handstand course. All right, right at the end of the live show. All right, so
And it helps the YouTube algorithm.
and it helps the algorithm, of course.
So you're being kind to us.
Just to spread the video along YouTube. So let us know if you are there. Just leave a comment, say hello, I'm here, I'm watching the show. Hello, I'm listening to you. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about handstands. I don't know. Maybe you want to talk about something, and we're gonna reply to the questions. All right, because it's good just to answer to the questions. All right, but just stop. Let's go, Ben on hands. Yeah, amazing, brother. Thank you so much.
Another one on hands.
There are a lot of people like who are like you. Maybe are among.
Hey, Mr. Pep, awesome.
Yeah, brother. Good evening, man. From London, I think. Yeah, so in London it's evening as well. So I think you, Ulrik, you are one of the first on Instagram who put on hands on his day.
I'm at least the second one. I'm the first copycat because I copied Yuval alone because he was Yuval on hands and he was my first idol inspiration. And then I think now there's like equal share of people on hands, people having handstand, and people having balancing or balance or something like that. It's really very fun, but that's how it works. There's not so many options. Yuval Big G, indeed.
Yuval Big G, yeah. Yuval is the Big G, yeah. Original gangster. So the first thing I want to talk to you about tonight is this. So a lot of people get into the handstand world, and one of the first, I think, one of the first limitations they kind of need to face, and one of the first problems is flexibility. But I do think that flexibility sometimes, most of the time, actually, is something overlooked. So people either watch at flexibility as something they don't need, or they do the complete opposite. They get like too much into the flexibility thing, and they don't realize that you don't need that much flexibility just to hold, I mean, a handstand. I'm not talking about flags. I'm not talking about presses. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about, okay, I want to go into a fucking handstand and I want to hold that position.
Yeah.
All right, just to hold that position. So what you think about like handstands and flexibility?
I think that for 2-arm handstands, you need a minimum of shoulder flexion and wrist extension, and that's it. You don't need to focus much on your legs to be able to kick up to a 2-arm handstand and be able to hold. If you only have ambition about doing straight handstand, then if you can do this, you're fine. And then if you have ambition to do 1-arm stuff, that's when the lower body flexibility starts to get very important.
Of course, and I do see people just they just try to increase the shoulder flexion, and I do think that it really depends on your body. So, in your opinion, like, how can you get aware of that? Like, how can you get aware of, okay, I need to work on my flexibility, or vice versa? I really don't need to work that much on my flexibility, to be honest.
Yeah, just do a test. If you have enough flexibility to have 180-degree shoulder flexion, that means that you're being straight here without opening up your chest. Then you have enough flexibility to be able to hold a straight handstand. And the rest is technique. And the way that you can practically address this is to test if you have enough shoulder flexion. If you don't have then you can implement shoulder flexibility and mobility as a part of your warm up before your handstand practice, and that's it.
So
You will gain specific mobility from doing correctly performed handstands.
yeah, yeah. There's something that for me that people often like overlook. They try to get the flexible, 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 and in my opinion, a lot of them just don't need that much flexibility. I mean, just to start, but then things get way more serious when you wanna move on. So when you wanna do a tuck, when you wanna do a straddle, when you wanna start working maybe on the flags. So, like at that point, what do you suggest doing?
Uh, I think that if you are working your shoulder flexion from the start and you're able to hold a decently straight handstand, then the rest of your shoulder flexibility you will gain from doing handstand work. For example, when you are doing tuck, you are actively doing flexibility in every correctly performed tuck. So you're actually working with opening up the shoulder in that handstand, and that
Of course.
works for many cases instead of doing a lot of the stretches. But you have to have like a minimum of a flexibility for it to make sense. And when you are starting to like supposed to move your legs around, the more flexibility you have in your lower body, the better stuff is going to look and the more efficient stuff is going to be. For example, if your goal is to do a straddle press, the more compressed you're able to keep your upper and your lower body, the easier the press will feel like.
Of course.
So that's when it's a very huge dedication step from I want to do a straight handstand to I want to be able to do a one-arm handstand, or I want to do a flag or a straddle press. Then a straight handstand you can get pretty easy. But if you want to move on, that's a whole new topic. That's when all the flexibility work comes in for your lower body and stuff like that.
So at some point, I think that you must understand the difference between shoulders flexibility, which at some point um, doesn't need that much of attention, and lower body flexibility, which gets absolutely a priority if you want to master some movements. I don't know, just to start, the press to handstand, for example, or the tuck handstand, you do need flexibility. And a guy here, Pep, the man himself, asked
Yep.
this: do you think hamstrings flexibility doesn't affect or restrict the handstand?
The straight handstand? If that's the question, then I don't think that restricted much at all.
Of course, of course.
That's my
But
opinion.
maybe he's talking about more advanced shapes, like the press to handstand or the tuck handstand, something like that. And as I said, at some point you gotta understand that in the shoulders you may not need that much flexibility. But there's no, like, when we think about lower body, then the game actually changes. Am I right?
Okay, for the kick up,
For the kick up, yeah.
I would say the same thing. Like, if you have to be damn restricted in your hamstring, in my opinion, to be able to not kick up in an efficient way. You can always just bend your knees to compensate if you're stiff during the kick up, but you don't need a super big split or anything like that to get control in straight. So I wouldn't prioritize stretching lower body at all for beginners, simply because there's better ways to use your energy and your time.
So you do think that maybe when you are at a beginner stage, you gotta focus on. It really depends, maybe on your weaknesses. So maybe you this is why for me it's important to have a coach like you or like me or like anyone else that knows what he's talking or she's talking about. Because when you're a beginner, you don't know what you need to focus on. Maybe people get frustrated on the or focus on the shoulders flexibility. They don't realize they don't need the shoulders; they need the lower body, or they just need to. I got a lot of students, for example, a lot of girls who got extraordinary flexibility, and they come to my class and they say, okay, my coach said that I need to increase my flexibility. And I say, what the fuck are you saying? Like, you got an impressive amount of flexibility. You just need to, as you said, we got a limited amount of time, and we need to work on something. If you spend your time working on something that you don't need, how can you balance the handstand? Because there's no time. So when a person who wants to improve his or her handstand comes to me, and she or he says, "Okay, I want to improve my flexibility, my handstand," and he or she has a lot of flexibility, I just create a program which is maybe 90% focused on the balancing part because they don't need the flexibility.
Hmm. Yeah, I consider like the straight two arm handstand. If that's the goal, there's a lot of stuff that I would do with to strengthen and mobilize the shoulders, and not much with lower body. I have yet to see somebody with so stiff hamstring that it's a problem to kick up. Usually, I see that the problem is centered around the shoulders and understanding how to get the hip on top of the shoulders when they kick up, not on the hamstrings. But maybe you have some stiffer people than I have coached, Mr. Pep. That's
Yeah,
possible.
I as Mr. Pep, have met people with that damn hamstrings tightness. But I do think that it's really something that with a few stretches for the hamstrings really get past after I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, something like that. It's just a range which is really easy to improve. So yeah, I do think that maybe if you got 100%, for example, 10% of that time, even if you're a beginner, I mean, whenever, just start working on your lower body flexibility. 10% of the time, 20% of the time, 30%. It depends, of course. If you got an extreme tightness, of course, maybe some more time is needed. But what do you think, Ulrich? Like, if
Yeah,
you start, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's the lucky part with me, since I am like a very specific handstand coach. So I
yeah.
only program and think about handstands. But if you are kind of more of a general coach, then you might think about their other needs and stuff like that. I don't care about that at all. I don't care about the people's health. I care about their performance in handstands. So,
Of
so
course.
there's nothing wrong with like make a lower body routine that takes 10 minutes as a part of your warm up. If you think about like normal health and uh, other reasons to do that in other sports and like the everyday life and stuff like that. But if, as I mentioned, like if the goal is two arm straight handstand, then I, as a handstand teacher, will focus solely on that. And in my opinion, uh, I don't see a big reason to stretch the hamstring. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to some other questions. I see that many
Yeah,
more questions
of
rolled
course.
in.
So, just to end the conversation about that, just to ask you the last question, talking about instance of flexibility,
Mm,
before reading the next question. Like, you said that you care about performance. So, I do want to do this example here. So, let's assume someone wanted to start handstands, and she wanted to become a very good imbalancer in the future. But
mm,
she now can perform maybe a good handstand, but she doesn't have very good flexibility level. So, and she says, okay, I want to learn the flags. I want to learn the figa. I want to learn. I don't know, whatever. Really advanced shapes. So,
Yep.
what in that exact moment? What do you think? Like, do you put flexibility in her program?
I would definitely encourage the student to take care of the lower body flexibility as well, and take that seriously and dive into that as a student, as well as the handstand technique.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when somebody is on a low level and they're saying that, they don't have a clue what they're getting themselves into. Many people say when they're starting out to learn to two arm that the goal is one arm. 1% of those people are
Yeah.
still training in 6 months. That's that's the reality of it. And if they're training in 6 months, 1% of them are like
After all,
training
yeah.
enough and are dedicated enough to actually progress to the one arm level.
Yeah.
Many have that view of one arm handstands that yes, anybody can do it as long as time passes. That's not the
Yeah.
case. Time passes if you're training well and dedicated, or if you're not training well and dedicated. Um, and people don't have a realistic perspective of how fucking much time and effort goes in on a daily basis, staring at the floor, falling and messing up
Mhm.
for the sake of learning a one arm handstand. And that's
Of
so
learning.
ridiculous. Um, if they knew that beforehand, then they would be able to make a realistic judgment if they were like, dedicate themselves to it. But they don't know that, and they think that it takes less time than it does. They think the path is straightforward. It's up and down, and you have to like. There's so many emotional strains that goes into the process. You will fuck up. You will get a wrist that hurts for 2 weeks for no reasons. You will fall so many times, and not everybody can see that emotionally. That was my anti don't do hand balance speech. Sorry, it was just there's so many
Guy,
people who talks a big talk about I'm going to do this, and then 2 months later, and oh, I haven't trained for a week because I didn't feel like it. Um, so people have to like be a bit humble when you're starting out, and like start with getting them good on two arms, and then you get an impression if you actually like to train handstands for real, not getting into a two-arm handstand, but mastering it. Some people get deeper into it because they actually enjoy it, and then some other people don't like it because it's too much of a hassle, and that's fair and all. But I think it's better to like get them good on two arms, and then we can talk
yeah.
about one arm along the path. If you end up being one of those who are very hungry and like it, so I think that coming back to your original question,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
I would try to not scare the people away with telling them that now they have to be contortionists when it comes to lower body training. First, focus on the handstand training, and then slowly increase their focus on lower body flexibility after months and months when they show and they build up that interest and dedication for the hand balancing. Whew, that was a long speech. I'm sorry
Yeah.
if it
So,
was too depressing.
yeah, just to end it up. So, guys, if you are thinking about learning the one-arm handstand, just take this video. I will leave it on YouTube. Just play it in the morning, every morning. You go minute, I don't know, minute 23. From minute 23 to minute 25, you got the exact reason you don't need to do that. So we are here. We both like met in London in 2017, and we knew that that was an important point of our lives because we were learning the one arm. Ulrik, like Ulrik was able to hold the one arm. I wasn't. And so we can say that if you don't want to get crazy, if you don't want to be a sociopathic person in your life, just don't do the one arms. don't learn the one arms. Play this video 10 more times every morning from the minute 22 or 23 till the minute 25, and you got the reason. So now move
But
on.
there are some very few people who are talented and who gets it with a bit less work and focus. But when you are talking about the figas and the stuff like that, then you are per definition a hand balancer, and that is your main goal and your main focus in life for that moment. And I don't think there's many ways around that. Like, you have to be one of those who trains 2-3 hours most days of the week. Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
I will say we got a schedule, but there are a lot of questions. So what do you say? Can we answer the questions first? Then if we got time, we can move on to our schedule.
Press to handstand. What flexibility should I focus on? Pancake. Should I answer, or do you want to answer?
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Your show.
In my opinion, when it comes to presses, the main thing to focus on is strength in the shoulders. The more strength you have in the shoulders, the easier the press will come to you. Or to put it the other way, the more flexibility you have in the pancake and the pike, the less strength is needed to be able to press. But it's still the strength in everything that supports your shoulders in this position that is the main make it or break it for the press. But yes, pancake is a very good idea to focus on, and then focus on drills to make you strong in this specific position here. And that can be doing tucks, doing sevens, doing negative presses, doing range of motion presses, box presses, press walks, and some planche work. In addition to getting strong in your or flexible in your pancake, and build up the ability to compress yourself. By compressing yourself, I mean the ability to pull your upper and lower body together. Namaste.
So, guys, like Ulrik said, a lot of names of exercises, and I do want to recommend you check out his Instagram page, where he got the Bob tutorials, which are something really interesting, because he's talking with Bob, who is an handstand nerd, and he tries to explain things to Bob. And do you have also the handstand press? Am I right? So you can check out the Ulric's Instagram page, just to understand the exercises he's talking about here, because he said, like, maybe press walks, box presses, etc. Maybe you don't know what we are talking about, of course. So if you want to check out the exercises, go on Ulric on Hands on Instagram, check out the stories, highlights, Bob tutorials, and you'll find it. All right. So yeah, just to end the question, I wanna just tell you a story, guys, about this one. So press to handstand. What should I focus on? Pancake. I met one time. I was I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe in Milan. There was a contortionist. She was extraordinarily flexible. I mean, extraordinary. But she couldn't control the handstand, and she couldn't press. I don't know where's the camera. So, and she couldn't press with her shoulders. So she lacked in strength and control. So she got an amazing level of flexibility, more maybe than an average person who does the press to handstand. But she didn't have the strength and the control to manage the press, which is exactly what Ulrich was saying. You do need strength first if you want to press. Then you need to apply your flexibility to that strength and control, and you'll be able to press. But I think that this is like when you think about press, you got to take flexibility, you gotta take strength. You need both, of course. But if there's strength, it's easier to press because I know a lot of people who just press like a shit. They don't have the flexibility, but they arrange something. And I know people also who are really flexible. They might be having like the best press in the world, but they don't have the strength, so they can't do that. All right. So this just to end this conversation right here. So let's check out the next question. If you're okay with
Yes.
that, Ulrich.
Oh yes.
This one is hilarious. So Mr. Pep asks, "Do you guys know any decent hand balancer that does it as a hobby and not as a performer handstand coach? Because I don't know an
Yeah,
average
there are
person."
a few on Instagram, and also a few that I know who don't teach it and don't perform it, and still trains one arm handstand. But of course, like the most people who teaches and stuff are very visible on social media, and the people who don't teach it and don't perform are less visible on social media. So that's probably why it doesn't look so like it's so many people there.
Yeah, I'm like, if I think about that, I really follow the hand balancing community on Instagram, and if I think about that, I know a lot of people who are decent hand balancers, but I don't know a lot of them who don't coach handstands or don't go at circus schools. Really a few. So yeah, a really interesting question right here. Um,
And there is like a life outside of Instagram. Believe it or not, there is people training who don't hoard themselves out on social media as we do.
yeah, yeah,
Mind
yeah,
blown. Okay.
yeah. I wonder, how would you guys cue flagging as well as getting up a straddle one arm?
Flagging. All right. Flagging is a lot of strength and flexibility in the side, and even more strength in the shoulder than a normal one arm handstand. Uh, I think it's difficult to cue it without having any visual because people have different struggles with it. Some people move their shoulders too much out. Some people bend their elbow. Some people move into their shoulders. So there's very many variables that I think it's hard to say out of thin air. But the usual cues I say is the same as the one arm handstand, that you want to place the weight around this area on the working hand, that you want to push up strong from the shoulder and pulling the leg down and crunching down into the side. But before you're crunching into the side, you want to try to create space here. So you want to really try to make yourself tall, so you have more space to fold into the side when you're initiating the flag. And the same thing
Very
goes
good.
with the straddle one arm as well. That people are making very many different mistakes and different tendencies of those mistakes. Some people lean the shoulders out, some people lean the shoulders in. But what most people do is not getting tall enough up on the shoulder. So basically, push tall up on the shoulder, put the weight on there, think that the push should come from here, and of course, placing the hip enough sideways over the shoulder. To cue that, I usually tell people to pull the leg down. And what I mean by that is if this is your legs, pull this leg down. So the hip shifts enough down like this, because it's normal to like shift the hip a bit sideways like that. That's I made a clip on that not very long ago, a little tutorial where I show the most basic mistakes when entering and working on support. So you can check that
On
out
your
on Instagram.
on your stories highlights as well. One arm
It was
handstand, yeah.
a voiceover tutorial, so it was actually like a Instagram TV, I think. Yeah,
Instagram TV, yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing,
like
amazing.
3 months ago.
So we got a schedule. So I got
Yep.
the next question,
Move on.
and then we'll be talking about more. We'll be answering more questions. So, guys, if you got questions, I really want to remind you that you can leave a comment down below. We'll be answering to every question you got. All right, every question you got, and you can also leave a comment to win a free spot for the handstand line workshop. All right. So 2 reasons to leave a comment down below, just to show up, just to tell, okay, I'm here. I just want to talk about this. I don't know. Press your hands. We have talked about flexibility. We have talked about kick ups. We've talked about balance. And now we have talked about one arms, flags. So really, really good. So, but me and Ulrich, just like as I said, from minute 22 to minute 25, there you can find the reason you shouldn't work on your one arm. But now
Oh no,
we
James.
want in the beginning we wanted to talk about handstands at advanced levels, because here I got a special guest. You can do a lot of live shows with a lot of people, but not all of them, as Ulrich said, maybe 1% of them can perform high level hand balancing. And Ulrich is one of them. So, what we want to talk about now is this. When you, okay, let's assume you're good at a two arm handstand. You want to start thinking about, okay, I want to go into the one arm field. What do you think about that? So, what are the main things you need to take into account? Maybe I would say the major 3 things you need to take into account when you start working on your one arms and when you wanna kind of build high level hand balancing. Are
Yeah.
there any patterns?
Yeah. Okay. So imagine that you have just an introduction to one arm training. Basically, that's what you're asking about. The first steps.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So if you only have worked on two arm stuff, then you have only worked in, let's call it the two arm plane, where you are focusing on not falling up there and you're not falling down there. That's the main focus. When you're working one arms, like you will then change the focus from only up and down balancing to balancing whole around your hand. So you're first discovering the sideways plane in addition to up and down plane, if that makes sense. So that's a whole new experience, and leaning your whole body over on one hand. So the first thing I focus on is building the strength and the understanding of placing your whole body towards one side and making that hip shift and that shoulder push both stronger, and also that the people understand it. And that before it makes sense to balancing it, because you need an understanding of how to go from being up here as you are on two arms to going up there, which is something that you will do on one arm. And it's a whole new type of strength, a very specific strength when the shoulder is coming up here. So you can be damn strong on two arms, being able to do presses and shoulders and whatever, and it doesn't necessarily carry over to the one arm position at all. So you have to like view yourself as a beginner again. And I suggest like starting to work on the fingertip support with the wall, so you're getting more time in the position if you are doing freestanding and you're just falling in the attempt of going up here. So build time in the position, develop conditioning, strength, and specific understanding of the position before taking the next step to trying to balance in the fingertip support. And then you're learning how to balance after you have built some capacity and understanding. And specific drills for doing that. Side bends is a very good introduction to leaning the weight over one arm. And same is fingertip support. Those are the 2 drills that I work the most with to introduction.
Yeah. So this is the first kind of piece of advice you got for people starting to work on their one arm handstand. But what do you recommend regarding flexibility? Is there something we need to care about, like some standards we need to understand when we wanna shift from a basic level of handstands, which means that I can hold a two-arm handstand and I can maybe move through the shapes and I can do all this stuff to advanced levels? Are there any flexibility standards I need to kind of build?
I don't know about specific standards. I don't think in that way, at least. I would say that you want to build a good pike, a good pancake, and a good side split, and that are the most important stuff for all the way up to one arm handstand. Yep, that's it.
So compression and legs apart flexibility.
Yeah,
Because when you do straddle, for example, like a lot of teachers just try to teach you the one arm handstand in full, but I know
oh
that
damn, people do that.
you people do that, yeah. People do
Okay,
that,
that's
some
good to me.
people do that, but I know that you're not among them, because you introduce people to one arms from the straddle.
Yeah, and that's because balancing in straight with your legs together is 1 to 2 years more difficult than balancing in a straddle. When you can balance in a straddle for 10 seconds, it takes most likely 1 to 2 years until you can do it with your legs together.
Yeah, we are talking about ears, guys. We are talking about ears. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's a
1 to
huge
2 years.
difference. That's a huge difference, and I kind of, yeah, and I'm 100% in agree with you. But so when you start working on the straddle handstand, of course you do need splits flexibility, because if you
Yeah,
split your legs, gets easier.
yep.
But now, last thing. So the third major piece of advice you got for people starting to work at advanced levels. What do you think about the psychological side of things? So, is there any kind of advice you may give to people starting working on the one arms or advanced levels, psychologically speaking?
Yeah, I think it helps to know that when you suck, it's okay. Like it's a very normal big part of the process that it's going a lot up and down, and everybody is saying that. But it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to feel it in your process. There can be weeks and months where it feels like you are just doing the same thing again and again, and not much is happening, and that is common. um, and then you figure something out, and then you move on, and then you forget about something else, and then you get stuck in some other way, and you figure it out, and then it goes a little bit like this. And that is for most people. If you are like in circus school, chances are that you're not getting stuck like that, because you always have somebody who sees you and understand where you are, what you're doing wrong and stuff like that. But it's normal to feel like you're stuck for a very long time for the majority of the people.
Of
And
course.
being aware of that's normal, that helped me to not get too down about it. That's one thing. Another thing is that um, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing on. You have to be hungry, and and there are some kind of people who are hungry naturally. Like they like the challenge of it. Yes, we are yelling and tossing blocks and pretending to be sad and emotional and angry and stuff, but we love that process, and that is so important to love that kind of struggle. If you're not the kind of person who are into that and who can cope with that, then I think it will be very hard to get into a high level, because there's so much of it.
Of
At
course.
least from my perspective, it was, and is for me. Maybe other people experience this differently than I have.
Of course, yeah. Stay
Yeah,
hungry, stay hungry, stay foolish.
yeah.
Just to quote, just to
And
quote.
you can have also a year and nothing happen, but the process is enjoying, fortunately. And that's a very good way of thinking about it. Like, um, instead of thinking that, oh, in 6 months I have to be able to do this and this, having more like, yeah, I like actually training. If I progress, that's awesome. If I don't progress, I still enjoy the practice of it. I
Yeah,
enjoy that mindset. I have that mindset as well, and
that's
I
really
think it
important
helps.
because yeah, it's really important because also when you, I think I don't know if you have ever like experienced that, but when you do that for a living, also when you do that for a living, because you do that for a living, you might be thinking, okay, if I'm not good at this, I can't have a life. Like you know, like what do I do in life? I'm Hastings. And a lot of people, when you are really motivated, when you are really obsessed, and you gotta be a little bit obsessed with one-arm handstands if you want to accomplish a one-arm handstand. If you're not talented, like me and Ulrik, he's taller than me, and he's heavier than me, and that's a big motivation for me. It has
Are you
always
calling
been,
me
but
fat? Just kidding.
but
Mm,
like you know, we are both 185 or more height, and
190.
you're 190. I'm 187,
Yeah.
and we are both around 75 to 80 kilos. You're more than 80.
Seven. Are you kidding me? Damn, I'm 89.
89. I'm 78.
Are you
I don't
kidding?
know.
You have to eat, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm 79, man. I'm jacked and so man, yeah. So we are both not. I think we are both not talented for hand balancing. I mean, if you watch pro level hand balances, uh, maybe you can see maybe Andre Moraru,
Yeah, he's tall. He's really tall.
Mikael Christiansen, very tall.
180,
Some
I
some
think.
great hand balancers are not really short, but a lot of hand balancers are short. Maybe I mean it's not it's not only talent, but when you're not talented, you gotta be obsessed. You gotta work hard, and when you work hard and you fail, you might be thinking, okay, I'm not good at that. I want to leave that. But as Ulrich said, it's really important to understand that maybe your training will be the same for a year or more. The same. I mean, the same. Exactly the same. And if you kind of understand that you are on a lifelong process, if you understand that you are on a lifelong journey, you gotta enjoy the fact that you are there and you're training for that.
Damn, another guy who needs to eat food.
Yeah,
186 and 69. What the fuck? What the fuck?
yeah, you're jacked, man. You're jacked. You're shredded.
Yeah, back to the talent thing. I think that height and weight has a lot to say. Of course, the taller you are, the more fine-tuned
Yeah,
you need to be with the balance in order to
yeah,
stay.
yeah,
If you're shorter, you can make bigger mistakes, and also it costs less energy to stay there. And same thing with weight. Like when you're heavy, you need more strength to keep yourself up, and that
yeah,
and gets more challenging. But there are other ways to be talented as well. Like some people are naturally more flexible than others. Some people are naturally more stronger than others. And then there is like discipline and like how everything in there is working. And that's the obsession part where that plays a role to either compensate for the lack of something or to even improve stuff even further. And when you have that special combination of everything, you turn
yeah.
into Andrei Bondarenkov, who's like crazy strong, crazy flexible, super damn tiny. And that's why you can like do, I don't know how many shoulder presses you can do, 50 or something, and jumping 100 times from one arm to the others. that's when everything meets. And most of the people are more on the level where, like, if you're able to get a 5-second one on handstand, that's possibly by the end of what the majority can expect to get out of it.
Yeah,
I'm
hundred
crushing dreams
percent.
again. Fuck. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I'm a
guys.
hundred. And yeah, I'm 100% sure you know what you're talking about, and I'm completely with you on that. And I got a listener here who says, I don't know in centimeters, but I'm 6 feet, 135 pounds, and I don't know how to judge that because I don't know feet. I
Yeah,
don't know feet.
that's 180. 80 something. Yeah, doesn't matter. Let's try to stick to that. Have some flexibility.
Yeah, last question. All right, because we got an hour and we are at 51. Okay, so
Okay.
we got the time just to answer to one more question, guys. We'll be going live again. Maybe if Ulrik wants, just to make another show, because it's great just to have a chat, just to
Mm.
have people and to talk about handstands, because this is what we do all day long. So why not to do that also when, like, before we go to sleep? Because why not? We do maybe 5 to 6 hours every day, and we go and during our evenings, what we can talk about handstands again. Why not?
Yeah, we love
That's
handstands.
how. So the question is this: did you find mobility strength walk opens the shoulders more efficiently than stretches?
I would say that if you have flexibility restrictions, then why not do them all? For example, you can warm up with flexibility for your shoulders to get more end range available in your shoulders, and then you think about handstands as that's the way you're practically using your end range, with strength and stuff, and with time that combination will lead to increased flexibility, and I found that to be very efficient. That was a short and
So
precise answer. Let's stick to that.
yeah, I think that he's asking like strength work. Like it really depends. There are a lot of methodologies, but I do think that people nowadays, there are a lot of exercises, a lot of stretches you can do, and they often like think about, okay, uh, is the traditional work where you just go there. Like if I open your bob tutorials and you are explaining to people, okay, if you want to improve your shoulders flexibility, do this, and it's a really simple exercise, but with the fact that an exercise is simple, that people know it, then
Mm.
people start to think about it's a shit, because people know it and because it's simple. And
Mm.
I mean, man, there's a reason why this exercise is simple and that people know it, because it works. Yeah, like it's, of course there are a lot of exercises that maybe don't work out there, but if you meet a person like Ulrik, you go on his stories, you open the video, you see an exercise which is simple, which is great, which he says, okay, do this just to improve your handstand, then do this and improve your handstand. That's it. You don't need to think about, okay, I need to work on that, maybe on that, maybe on that. No, it's free. I mean, it's free. A YouTube channel, it's free. There are a lot of exercises, flexibility exercises, simple or not, but there are flexibility exercises which in many ways are traditional, are simple, but they're effective. So I do think that stretches help uh, to improve the shoulders flexibility. But as Ulrich said, if you do handstands, if you warm up, and you got to understand the importance of this, because in my opinion, this is really important. If you warm up correctly, and with warm up, I don't mean you do a couple of this, a couple of this,
Uh,
a few shoulder circles, and you go up. No, I mean take 30 minutes. Take 30 minutes. Work on what you need to work on. Shoulders, hips. I don't know. work on that, work on the flexibility, start your handstand workout warmed up, and start your handstand workout after some flexibility. And if you do that and you do simple exercises and you do them for uh, a sufficient amount of time to create progress in your shoulders, you're going to do that, as Ulrich says. Then once you're there, doing handstands increases your flexibility. So you can do a handstand and you can maintain and even work on your shoulders flexibility. All right. So have you got something to add here, Mr. Ulrich?
No, I think that question is well answered.
All
Do we
right.
have
So
time for one short question, or is it not?
yeah, do you want to do that?
Yeah, one more question. We have time to.
Yeah, let's go. Um, let's check it. Let's have a look. So, guys, if you got any questions, please leave them down here because I'll be choosing the next question to answer. And all that you're here, just find something just to talk about. I'm looking through the comments right here. So there's a guy here asking this. I've recently started hand balancing and I'm 17 years old. Do you have any tips for me? So I would say, since you are really young, try like at that age. Usually, I'm not talking about you, but usually you're really stubborn. Like you want to do something all by your own, which is good because you got the motivation, which is good because if you fail, you learn and you always want to do that. But get a coach because you're really young, and maybe a coach will really help you find your way. Maybe in your city, I don't know where you're based, but maybe in your city there's someone who can do a handstand, who can teach you a handstand. And I do think that at that age, having a coach is really good. What do you think, Ulrich?
I think that if you made it the way here to watching a YouTube talk with two people, then it shows that you're hungry and that you're interested and that you're open to find information. And I think that's a very good way to start to check out people who does handstands and also teaches it, find their stuff. See from different people as well, so you can see what people agree about, disagree about, and then you can make your own opinions and stuff. So you're trying to learn more and more about everything that is related to handstands and hand balancing, to help broaden your own understanding of this process. And then I also think it's a great idea to get a coach, so you get somebody to look at you, specifically you, not just the general information that goes for everyone.
Yeah.
I started out with having a coach for more than 3 years consistently, and he will work as a mentor for me, and that was very important because by all this information, which mostly is very good information, but it gets confusing because everybody says you have to do this or you have to do that, and this is my opinion about that, and then it does get confusing because you hear different things. People are disagreeing with each other, and if you get one experienced coach that you would trust, he can help you to kind of guide you through these misunderstandings.
Yeah.
My coach was like, I need to get hammered into my head that when I fall, when something is off, it's usually because my shoulders is not pushing strong enough. And that's what I learned when I started to do 2-arm handstand, when I started to do press handstand, and when I started to do 1-arm handstand. It's the same thing. The shoulders needs to push harder. And if I didn't have that mentor, I would possibly go not progress well at all, because I would be more confused and more angry. But then he's like, nope, get yourself together, push fucking harder. That's it. That's what I needed to hear then. And same thing with flexibility. I started out like with doing my split was this. I'm not joking with you guys. This was my split in my handstand. And I wanted to be able to do a 1-arm handstand. And I didn't train flexibility at all because I sucked so hard at it. So I thought I would be able to do it here first. Then my coach told me, no split, no one arm handstand.
No one I'm at.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to be flexible now. I'm going to go into it, and that's what I needed to hear. So yeah, I would also say the same thing as you, that it's a great idea to, if you're dedicated enough and have ambitions and you take it seriously, to get a mentor or a coach figure that can help you to see things that you need to understand.
And if you don't wanna buy something, just go on Ulric's page on Instagram. Bob tutorials, a lot of things here just for free. He does it for free. So why not just you give him a follow, or yeah, you know, there are a lot of people who just
Thanks.
give away for free, for free. This YouTube channel is free. Your Instagram page is free. And we give people free things, just free tips, just because we are passionate about that. So I think that it's really important. And you can check out the links right here. And there's Ben is asking you a question, and I would love
Yep.
to end the show with this. Ulrik,
Mm.
will you perform an act again in the future?
No, I will not, because I suck at performing. Seriously,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
really
good.
bad at it. I, I tried a few times, and I was in Norway's Got Talent, but my performance level is so much lower than anything I can do when I'm training, and also it takes so much more effort from me to be able to do anything cool on stage, and I get nervous, um, and I didn't enjoy that as much as I enjoy just doing my own little thing in the gym and doing it for myself, and for, yeah, trying to get better for my own. So yeah, no, I won't.
You're a really humble person, because I can understand you. When I was when I was playing tennis, I really remember that when I was playing with my friends, I was really good. Then when it was the time just to do the match, to play against people on a tournament, I was a complete shit because I don't know, like the tension. I think you can get used to that, but the fact that people say you, okay, you just need to practice that. I don't know that if that is completely true, because I do know people who can go on the stage and do better than training. And I know a girl, her name is Claudia Di Pilato. She's the world champion of pole dance. And she says to me, when I go on stage, when I need to fight for the final of the world championship, I'm actually relaxed, and I go on stage and I do the best I've ever done in my life. And I say, how the fuck can you do that? It's it's incredible. I mean, you're playing against all the people in front of a lot of people, and it's you might be having like a such a level of tension which I can't describe, and you do better than your training. It's awesome. But I think that it's something that you have inside. It's something that
Yeah.
you feel, and if you, as you said, if you don't enjoy, so why'd you do that?
Yeah, and it's so much more, to do a hand balance act. It's so much more than the technical component. It's about enjoying the stage presence and being able to do moves between the handstand sets, and liking to work with the choreography, and being like a part of that whole thing, that artistic side of it. And
Yeah.
that's a whole bachelor or master's degree in learning scenography. That's a whole different thing than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just training for that specific skill, and that's like completely different worlds. And I
Yeah.
tried a little bit in the other world, and it's not a world for me.
All right. All right, all right. It has been a real pleasure for me to have Ulrich tonight for you guys, and also for the Mobility Academy show. It has been a a great show, a great show, and I can't wait to do another because tonight we got like we set a schedule, and we haven't really followed it because there were so many questions, and we at least we enjoyed answering to every kind of questions right here. Now let's see who wins the free course here. JF, you win a free course about the handstand line. So what you want to do here is just you go on Instagram. All right, you go on Instagram if you are live. All right, listen to my words or just watch the replay. You go on Instagram, just leave a comment if you're live, but I want to explain to you how to do that. So you go on Instagram, Elia underscore bodyweight. All right, you send me a message. I'm the winner. All right, just write this. I'm the winner. All right, and I'll be sending you the link for the free link for the free workshop. All right, so Elia underscore bodyweight. But if you want to follow this man here, which I hope that will be again on this show, just to talk more about handstand flexibility because there are a lot of things to talk about, you can go always on Instagram on Ulrik on hands, all right, and you can find him on Instagram. But I want to ask you, Ulrik,
Yep.
where can they find you? Only on Instagram, or do you have any kind of more specific pages or something like that?
If people want to be in touch with me, they can direct message me on Instagram, and I also
On
have a web
Instagram?
page, but all that information is on Instagram, so that's fine.
Always on Instagram. All right, so go on Instagram, Ulrich on Hands. Just follow and follow the for handshakes and flexibility. Great, great content. So Ulrich, I wanna really thank you for being here tonight. It has been a real pleasure to have you here,
Thank
and I
you
hope
so
that
much for inviting me. It's been awesome.
my pleasure, mate. So
Thanks for all
thank you
the
so
comments and everybody who made
absolutely.
this go in, and yeah.
They loved you. They loved you, and they loved the show. I'm sure about that because we've been talking about something that, in my opinion, is unique because it's the experience and passion of people who are really into this, and this is priceless, you know. And I really enjoyed staying with you and with the guys who leave a comment here or not. I don't know, but maybe with all of you guys, maybe if you and a guy here asked me, I want to watch the show right from the beginning. And you can do that because this show will be available on my YouTube page whenever you want. So just check out the YouTube page. There's the Instagram link of Ulrich, also the YouTube video. All right. So you can check him out also on YouTube if you're watching this after the live. All right. So thank you so much, Ulrich. Thank you so much, guys. That's all for tonight's show. Konnichiwa. Bye bye.
Konnichiwa.